Alright. Hello, hello, hello. I don't think anyone's here. So you know what? That's while we hope that someone arrives, so I'll go ahead and boot up Genshin. I'll mute the desktop audio for you. do 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 do. Do 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 do. Mm. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm a shapeshifter in post masquerade. Please take all my mind. I don't know the song. Where's that song? With. Well, I guess we can allow desktop audio now. All right. Anyways, hello, 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 and welcome to another stream of Genshin Impact. I know I'm just in my little starting screen right now, but I wish to welcome you in a more formal manner.
A blade
And by
embraces
formal
its
manner, I
duty,
apparently mean
as
this
a
piece of
jeweler
paper.
cherishes their gems.
Because I feel it's like what I've just been like slapped onto. Oh, hi, Morbid. Glad to see you here. Hold on, I better make sure Ayaka doesn't talk. There, now we have the slight Genshin BGM in the background, and Ayaka won't be doing her idle lines. Anyways, how are you today? I'm good. I just finished pre-registering for the new Honkai Star Rail game. Ah, I see, I see. I don't know if I'm gonna try that or not. Because I'm pretty invested in Genshin. Could be worth a look at, though. I'm not a huge gun person, but it does look really nice. I don't know, I'll have to think about that for whenever it official releases. Not entirely sure if the lore ties into the original Honkai or not. It looks amazing so far. Yeah, well, from what I know about Honkai Impact, there seems to be other worlds or multiverse kind of thing going on, anyways. So it could always be tied in afterwards if it's not directly tied in at the moment. Yeah, they have some of the same characters in there, so I'm assuming it will somehow. Yeah, I don't know what those same characters would be because I haven't played any of the Honkai Impact games. I'm too scared too. They people say they're sad, and Genshin already breaks my heart as is. Know what I mean? Only it was up a bit high. We'll do that survey thing later. It is sad, but it's also really fun. I'd still recommend it, to be honest. I'm just scared too. I'm just scared. Could be a potential game to stream in the future. Hashtag content. Hold on. Alright. Sorry. I have food now. I've just seen the alleged banner leaks and Baiju, Nahida, and Shinha might be in the same update. Screaming cry. Bunch of there. Oh yeah, yeah. Uh what, you hadn't seen those potential leaks before? Yeah, they're gonna be in potentially 3.6. Anyways, we'll just chat for a bit while I eat my food. I got some Cane's chicken. Texas toast, fries, the works. Yeah, and Azaria's having to kick herself because she wants Yelan, who's running now. But even more than that, she wants Eula, who's supposed to run in 3.5. but she also wants Shinha, who runs in 3.6. Because I showed her like my freeze comp team that I have, and she said she literally only has like one of those characters, and she wants all of them. So yeah, that was a bit of a slap in the face. That's so yeah, it really is tragic. The only one she has is Ayato of my freeze team. Be sure to go. I almost said bully. That wasn't the right word. Be sure to go teaser. Playful teasing. Nope, no mean teasing, of course. You could never tease her. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm just eating my lunch. Got Texas toast, fried chicken, and some fries from Cane's. I'm doing all right. I just came from a Zarya stream. Oh yeah. So the first time I tried Cane's, I was back in the Midwest, and it literally just did not impress. Like it was so bland. I didn't understand why it was so popular. But when I moved out here, the Cane's that I went to, fucking phenomenal. The flavors there and everything. And I'm actually kind of hard to please with fast food fried chicken because my mom made some of the best fried chicken in fucking existence, or just best chicken in general. Let's be honest, best foods in general. Let's be completely honest. The cat is being a little bitch. Yeah, that'll be cats for you. I tell you to tell it to stop, but that's like telling the sky to stop being blue. It can happen, just not likely. Unless it's already pre-decided to not be. And so bottled of it like Chick-fil-A does or so. See, I'm not really a condiment person. So I am very neutral on the whole cane sauce thing. Or any or really most sauces in general. For me, food has to be good in its purest form. Like, damn, girl, the vet told me not to feed her too much, but what am I supposed to do when she's destroying my chair? Give her some kitty weed. I grew up with outside cats. I'm not very good at handling inside cat problems. can't cut her nails so because she is outgoing. I I don't know anything about that. So it's more pain. Ouch. Yeah, cats will be amused by some of the simplest things. But if you buy them like a super fancy thing, they will snub it. Actually, we got some cats here and they're inside cats. It's a very new experience for me. Uh, and they have some cat trees, and there was a short one they weren't using, so we put a TV on it because they weren't using it, they were ignoring it. Now that something's on it, they want to fucking scratch at it. Yeah, they really would rather play with the box. Bought the new cat bed, but no, she's sleeping with me or in the box. See, that should be common enough knowledge now that I don't know why cat beds are still sold. Like, bitch, let's just go buy a fucking I don't know what comes in a big box that's not overly expensive. Um, Trying to think. Hmm. I don't know. You know what? That is smart. I would never think about that. Yeah, yeah. That would be very, very smart. Because the thing about cats is that they like enclosed spaces. Cat beds aren't really that enclosed. We had some window wells in the house I grew up with, but they could fill with water whenever it rained. And the cats just love sitting in those. And whenever they had kittens, they would very regularly bring the kittens into the window wells, and we'd have to always move them because we didn't want them to grow a habit and then end up drowning when it rained. Oh yeah, I'm sure they do. It's an enclosed space. You put it's something that has their common scent on it. Of course, they'd love it. Now, on the opposite hand, if you didn't associate them commonly with the carrier, they would fucking hate it because it'd be foreign to them. Yeah, cats are weird, but you can kind of figure them out. Cats are like, well, they behave pretty oppositely to dogs in a lot of their behaviors, being because they're independent creatures versus pack animals. Dogs don't really care for dog houses because they're pack animals. They're used to being around others. A cat's independent in nature will cause it to like enclosed spaces because it's inherently geared to only rely on itself and not have its back open. I mean, at least she is lovely. Aw, that's sweet. I have a cat who likes to just jump in my lap and just fall asleep there. And as much as I'd love to let her sit there, I've rambled on about the bad issue of my desk and chair before. There is no room for her for me to like scoot into my desk where I can be comfortable and see my screen very well. And this chair gets uncomfortable if I don't shift around, which you can't really do when you have a cat on your lap. I'll let her sit there for a while, but a while is it. Plus, she likes to chew on wires and whatnot, so I gotta keep those out of her reach. She's following me every time and is going to use the bathroom. If I don't let her in, she'll be meowing and scratching the door. Yeah, cats will fucking do that. You better get a new desk for your cat so she can sit on your lap right now, or else I don't have the moolah. I'm having 9 cats, and every single one tries to come with you into the bathroom. My life, Jesus. Did someone have kittens, or do you run a cat at sanctuary? Do you foster cats? What's going on there? I love how I titled this another Genshin stream, but because I'm eating, we're just talking about cats. They're all still scared. Yeah, I'm actually really good with animals. Some of the cats here just would not go near me. But eventually, they warmed up, and now I can't get rid of them. More of a cat person than a dog person. Alright. Being able to win over a cat is most rewarding feeling. Yeah, it is pretty rewarding. I'm just an animal person in general. I don't prefer cats over dogs or dogs over cats. I just like animals. Alright, I'm down to my tenders. I'm almost done. I mean, that's why I reason I kind of want to be a vet. Oh, that's a good ambition. Dislike dogs too overstimulating. I guess I can understand that. I mean, different breeds of dogs will have different levels of that too. I mean, cats as well, but cats at the point that most people get them will be super mixed breeds. So a lot of their traits sort of like carry over to a lot of other ones, or at least the most common cats you see. You can still find purebred cats, of course, just like you can still find purebred dogs, but with cats it doesn't seem to have as much of an impact because they've just, how do I put this? They haven't seemed to differ nearly as much from each other's special lines or ancestral lines. But then again, that might also be because dogs were a big, like the current breed of dogs. Dog barking specifically grates on me. Not even sure why. Aw. But the whole thing is the breeds of dogs we have now aren't actually what they used to be. A lot of the quote unquote purebreds, I say that because of the following, are actually mixed breeds of different species that were bred particularly for shows or particular purposes, but especially show dogs in the last couple hundred years. Well, I say couple, but few. Well, actually, no, couple. 200 is good. Because human eugenics on dogs has just been monstrous. Like, there's a reason certain dogs look the same the way they are. That's because we've fucked with their breeding patterns actively. And that's also why, and it's part of the reason that some dogs will have innate health issues that their ancestors didn't, because they've been bred for this so much that eventually they'll start inbreeding, if not carefully done. And of course, there's just the fact if you cross over certain traits and just can't be fucking bothered to try and breed out a bad trait in favor of keeping a trait you wanted, blah 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 blah. Okay? There's a lot of um, how do I put this, awfulness to it. That's a pretty tame way to put it, but I hope this history on the species of current dogs has been entertaining and thoroughly traumatic. Yeah, cats didn't really go through that, though. Oh yeah, especially pugs. Pugs are one of the worst victims from all that, and especially ones that end up inbred. Pugs, pit bulls, other species with more squash skulls. Yeah, they're one of the biggest victim from all of that. Mm-hmm. Actually, I know for a while my brother didn't believe in evolution, which was really, really dumb. And he like points to all this stuff with dogs. I'm just like, well, that kind of stuff happens in nature. We just hyper accelerated it to a unhealthy degree. That's literally how evolution works, though. Only we took hands and tried to play God, and we fucked it up. I mean, it is kind of cute, but also unhealthy. And if it's unhealthy in the terms of cute, the cuteness doesn't overweigh it if it's unhealthy as a species. I mean, sure, it could be cute to have a little squash face, but if the actual inner workings are fucked up, it's not worth it. Oh, I didn't even notice. I'm still eating my chicken and I have OBS in the way. I'm almost done. I got one more tender to go. I had like 3 tenders, order of fries, and 2 Texas toast. It's fine. It's fine. Accidents happen. Like I said, didn't even notice. By the way, I've been thinking of doing like a reading stream, but I'm not sure like what kind of thing I would do for it. Thinking maybe a classic book, but I'm not sure yet. Because I can do my voices with it. No. No, 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 no. I'm a little baby when it comes to that. I'll read like Dracula or Frankenstein or something like that, but I know that author by reputation. Hell to the no. See, I like. Oh, no horror stream? Beans. Well, here's the thing I can deal with some levels of horror. That is not one of them. And I prefer being the horror. So, like Doom and Heretic. But I can handle like classical horror. Excuse me. I was actually, I suggested this to us on Azaria's stream. I don't think she ever saw it, but uh, maybe reading The Raven as part of it. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do after Genshin. So that was actually on my brain for a possibility there, too. One sec. Got an alert. Do I have anything else I need to consume or anything? I should probably throw away my container. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. What did I miss? Wait, 2 new people? What the hell? Ah! Raid! Jesus! Where did you people come from? Ah! Alright, let's take a look at these. Hi, Virgo. What's up? It's me, your boy. I'm glad you guys could swing on by. It's actually kind of nice. I don't have visitors often. I might have Morbid. Cat if it's earlier. Mirex pops in for a short bit. It's always nice when Azaria stops by. I think the only other person to raid me was Ina and Pate Princess. Another sexy voice to sip to. Welcome to Doppel's Sexy Voice Ganger stream night. Let me see if I can do that in a enticing voice. Welcome to Doppel Sexy Voice Ganger EXP stream night. I mean, EXP isn't technically part of the name. it's just Doppel. The Doppelganger EXP thing was just because, Doppel was already taken. So I tried to do something, but Doppelganger was also taken. So I went with EXP at the end, because, experience points. Da 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 da! It's your full government name. Anyways, right, before I went to throw something out, I was saying I was thinking of doing a reading stream myself. Morbid wanted me to do a horror manga, but that is not happening. I can do classic horror, but no, not modern horror. Modern horror is creepy as fuck. I'll take the or else. Oh goodness, oh goodness. Extra bunks for the OLC. I'll take the bunks. Don't make me read Junji Ito. I've been warned. I've seen some images. It's horrific. I can do Dracula. I can do Frankenstein. Jekyll and Hyde. I can do The Raven. I can do all those. I can do Lord of the Flies if any of you have a high school project coming up. It's like, yeah, I just have a book report to do on this for my high school. Can you, just stream you reading it so I don't have to? Sure, why the fuck not? Actually, no, that actually sounds... Not terrible, because not every book was that bad. To Kill a Mockingbird and Lord of the Flies were actually quite intriguing. Maybe even some Shakespeare's works. Thinking maybe Hamlet. I actually haven't read Macbeth. I hear literally everyone dies at the end, though. Yeah, spoiler for a Shakespearean play. Oh no! It's only 300 years old? Some shit like that? 400? I don't know. When was Shakespeare alive? Several hundred years old. You could read the Bleach manga. For me, words are hard. What, you think I can pronounce much of that? Also, the Bleach manga is long. But speaking of long, I also would not want to get into reading off Naruto or, heaven forbid, One Piece. Or no, wait, worse, worse. I know One Piece gets a lot of flack, but Detective Conan. Look, I love the shit out of that, but it's so long. Even when I get in the mood to binge some, I can't catch up. It just keeps going. Like Jesus. It's been going for like what, 30 years or some shit? Maybe longer? If it was happening in real time, Suichi would have fucking naturally grew back up by now. Oh, my neck and my shoulder hurt. Let me see if I can pop my shoulder. Somewhat did. It was more my spine, top of it, but you know, whatever. Whatever works. Anyways, didn't want to burp in the microphone. Shall we get to Genshin already? Nice. Quit prattling on without any actual gameplay going on. Do you need some chiropractic box? That actually sounds kind of nice. Let's be honest. What is with my tracking right now? All right, I think I got it better. A bonk for the spine, a bonk for the shoulder. Ah. And boom. Oh, I still have Genshin Invisible. So much for that. Right, I was playing Dragon Ball last. Let me shimmy my shadowy. And boom, nothing happens. The crowd goes wild! Now, let's get started.
I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me.
Alright, we got daily commissions, we got expositions to collect. We could tackle the next stage of the Ica quests. Or we could save some of those till later. I might save the Ica quest till it's built up more than just one fucking day, though. Anyways, I don't know if I said it, but thanks for the raid, Virgo. I meant to say that, but I can't remember if I did. Don't trust in me, just we need to get a raid screen next. Yeah, that actually would be good. I also want to get some chat commands. I gotta talk to Azaria about it, but every time I think about it, it's really late and I don't want to bother her. Even though I'm sure it wouldn't really bother her. Okay, I have max resin. Maybe I should use it to take on Invisilbot. Also, you up in my on-screen chat at twice over, bullying me, call me a weenie. So mean. Yes, you. Um, you don't know who that ruined person is? Ah, I got a bit of an idea. Just a smidgen. I got a bit of an inkling. Just a thought.
There are still so many places for us.
Can I look on Etsy real quick, see if there's any pre-made raid screens available? You don't need my permission for that. I'm not your mother.
Stabilize.
Illusion shattered.
And if you counter with, you're right, you're daddy, but you're just gonna make this weird.
I will have order. Gather.
Right here, right now, right here. Shine down. Torn to oblivion.
You meant for me? I mean, I don't even know what would go about implementing such a thing. I don't even know what even constitutes a good raid screen, if I'm being completely honest. Like, Azaria has like this huge celebration thing. I saw ages and ages ago, the Runway Guys raid screen. That was pretty goofy. Yeah, I don't know really what constitutes a good raid screen. And I don't have a lot of monties to even put towards buying one that's pre-made. And I wouldn't want to insult anyone by lowballing it either. I have no idea either, to be honest. Some of the ones I've seen on Etsy are relatively cheap, to be honest. Well, you're welcome to show me, but I can't guarantee that I'll vibe with anything. Just toss them over on Discord since you got me there. Let's do Mushroom Easy Mode with Ganyu.
Time to begin work?
Especially since this one looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, this one's going to be a bang. See, can't see that one. Can't even. The angle on this is horrid. Maybe you're not supposed to use an archer on it, but come on. Alright. Da 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 da. I have goofed a lot. These are raid emotes, not raid screens. I do need emotes. But for emotes, I actually want them to, kind of look like me. So I'd have to definitely commission those.
Next on the agenda.
I honestly don't
way
know
behind
what
schedule.
emote prices run for on average. Why am I going up here? The quest is over here.
Next on the agenda.
Who the hell's bothering me? Platinum. I'm busy, Platinum. I don't want the NPC to think I'm smelly. Yeah, but I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what kind of emotes I would. I'm not trying to fish, thank you. What I'd want aside from the raid one. So many potentially really fun details that you can put in those kind of things.
After I've saved
I'd probably want a smug emote. Because that'd be fun. That'd be really fun. Game volume is a bit loud, really? I haven't adjusted it. Or maybe it's running off from my desktop volume. Still too loud? Because where's my settings? Settings. Audio. Come on. Because literally at 1. Let's lower these down to 5 then.
Coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
Sometimes it's a bit loud over your voice. To be honest, I'm not sure if it's just me or not. Is my voice sort of reverbing? I want to check on that real quick. As you know, I have that issue occasionally. Quality is good. Doesn't sound off. Okay, that's good at least. Yeah, I haven't really messed with any settings, so it shouldn't be fucking up any differently. The only thing different is that my computer updated it Windows a bit, and now the sound thing's on the bottom in a tiny little bar rather than a big bar on the side. Which I was so used to the big bar by now, it's a bit annoying.
Time to go to order guide you. Solidify.
I mean, I'll get used to
Now
it,
you
but
shall
apparently your ears are just awful. I mean, if it was sounding loud to you, that means your ears were actually really good. Better than mine. Now some days are a villain, so it seems, and it's shot around the town roaring lie. They're called misunderstood, when in fact they're merely good. It's villain credentials that they lie. I didn't get that note right. I might need to drink more water too. Okay, I was like, am I not standing on this thing enough? Now, hey, little boy, don't be shy. Step right up, I'm a reasonable guy. Don't be frightened by the look in my eye. I'm media from out of the sky. Yeah, I think I need to take another swing of water. Welcome back. zoned out for a few minutes because the stream was wild. Well, what were you doing on your stream?
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Were you there when my husband took over and everyone was simping? Because that was crazy. Oh, you're playing Genshin. Your husband. Everyone was simping over your husband. I mean, yeah, that's the nature of VTubers. You flirt, you simp. You know, you have fun with it.
Illusion shattered!
Gather!
Emerge. Right now, a sight to behold. Emerge. Right here. Emerge.
It's like, which is fair, I did too, I understand.
This is long overdue. No touching. Access denied.
Shine down!
Solidify! This is order!
Torn to oblivion! Illusion shattered!
Right now, emerge. Nothing lasts forever.
Boom.
Right now, right here, emerge.
Now you shall perish!
Pisces are dreamy, we can't help it. Yeah, this is just the next stage of that. Locks in 9 hours, and why was this one highlighted? Yeah, that's just that one. I'll save that. Alright, let's go turn in our daily commissions. And see if my throat's cleared up a bit more. Now hey there, boy, don't be shy. Step right up, I'm a reasonable guy. Don't be frightened by the look in my eye. I'm happy meteor from out of the sky.
Ad Astra Abyssosque. Welcome. Thank you for completing today's commissions.
Alright, yeah, much more clear now. Virgos are mean. What's with that bit there? Are you okay? Are you having a heart attack? Alright, one more boss fight. I'm doing and struggling right now. Have you done this slumbering dreams or can't find the quest look? Too hyper from that stream. So, slumbering dreams? I don't think I'm at what you're thinking of. I have the excuse me. I have this section of it still. I'm only at this part of it yet.
Inactivity serves no purpose
Rip, we
whatsoever.
both behind in those questions. So, one, I hear the trees locked behind that. Two, I hear it's super long and a super pain in the ass. I just can't bring myself to do it yet. I'll eventually get to it. But today is not that day. It is, yeah. I figured it would be. punching the air right now trying to find those hidden locations. Ah, yeah. I can understand that. I can understand that. Why am I just running around town? Alright, I was waiting to see if this respawned. I still need more of this. Let me see how many more I need. Probably roughly 25, I guess. Oh, I was close. 23 more. Almost there. I'm so excited. Ah, good. Respawned.
There is no escape.
Right now, right here.
I will have order. Gather.
Right now.
I have another
Right
message.
Shine down.
All hail. Born of ice and frost.
Inazuma shines eternal.
I'll look at you in a sec, Tweety.
Illusion shattered.
I'm committing violence.
Order guide you. Stabilize.
Right now. Emerge. A sight to behold. Right now. Right here. Right now. No touching.
Now you shall perish.
All right. Well, I might need to check in over on that end.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion.
Nope, nothing over there.
I stand before
So I'll just
it,
have to see
alone
if they
and
want anything right
unchanging.
now. Alright. Actually, you know what we can be doing without wasting our time just running around town doing absolutely jack fucking shit? Let's get some more berries. We're always low on berries, I swear. Do 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 do. I don't know why it still feels like something's in my throat. My song or my notes were coming out alrightish, and it's like right at my uvula, like something's stuck on it. Hold on, gotta try and catch these flies. Alright, got one. Just do me, 'cause I got friends on the other side. You poor unfortunate soul, your diamonds in the rough. And now, with your permission, I'm going to do my stuff. If you're not gonna give me a lead, I'm not gonna look at it. Love y'all, but I will lurk for a bit. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoy your lurking. I thought you were already lurking. I've already started this collection, so I might as well... Actually, if we're collecting...
Time to broaden the horizons again.
And... boom. Seeds.
Hey! I see everything.
Yeah, after Genshin though, don't know what I'm gonna do exactly. I'm trying to debate a few ideas. I could always hop back into Dragon Ball, do my goofy voices there. I could attempt a little bit of reading to chat. If there's even anyone still here by that point. As you know, there'd be nothing worse than trying to start in a reading stream, literally no one there. I mean, okay, there is a lot worse than that, but that'd just be weird. I already talked to myself enough, I don't need to read to myself out loud. Like I'm fucking trying to understand a manual from IKEA.
Time to go.
I know IKEA manuals don't have words, but that's kind of the point. Because you're trying to make out what it says, so you're speaking out loud by that point.
Sure.
I'm just prattling on right now. Or maybe a song or something, I don't know. I never really know. Actually, I just realized I have all this. Alright, just one more boss battle should complete that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Get some munties. Alright. One more Invisibot fight. I do not want to fight that thing with this team. This team is not gonna put much of a dent in that thing very quickly. I'm sure y'all would love to see me struggle and try. That team is built for speed and exploration. Well, not really exploration, but speed and gathering. not meant to fight anything formidable.
There is no escape.
Right here, right now.
Blaze over. Access denied. Born of ice and frost.
I just realized Invisibot here is using Alhatham's burst. How did it take me this long to notice?
This is order.
Shine down.
Right here, right now, right here. Cha! Nothing lasts forever. Right now, right here.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Can't believe I just noticed that. I feel so silly. Alright, and that should make what? 50, 51, 52, 49. A little lower, but oh well. Alright, that's Battle Pass 47, baby! Once we got 68 of these boss drops, we'll be able to fully focus on money and EXP sheets. How much money we got right now? Roughly 3.8 mil. We'll need about 7.5 mil to complete, yeah. And roughly 400 big EXP sheets. But I'm sure we'll be able to make up for some of that with this. Not all of it, of course. This is only like a fourth of these. So I need to do math in that regard. Alrighty. Oh, my plants are done. He did not respond to me. Oh.
This realm.
Mana.
If you ever
I better save off collecting for a little bit. That way I can get the thing next week. Then again, I don't think I'll really need to worry about next week's Battle Pass points too much. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to hit it without much worry. Because this week, if I hit 10, which I probably won't, I'll literally be like one level off by a few points from completing that. So I'll complete it in plenty of time, it seems, which is awesome, awesome, awesome to hear. Alright, let's see. This lady was all fuzzy for a moment. She took a few moments to spawn in there. Alright, you know what? I never did do some book condensing on my higher tier books the other day. Let's take a look at what Day is gonna need right quick. I know it's Praxis. Yeah, Ascension materials. Open image in new tab. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, really? It's only 46? I thought it was 68. Have I just been overestimating everything? Hold up.
Inactivity serves
20, 32, 40, 44, 46. Yeah, it's only 46. I have enough. I had enough before fighting it one more time. I didn't need to fight it one more time. God fucking damn it. Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Alright, so it's going to be 63 of the blue book, 9 of base. I knew that already. 63 times 3 should, well, actually, yeah. Uh, 189. Why'd I do that math?
no purpose whatsoever.
Rip, maybe you can use the drops for someone else. I already fully upgraded Farazan and Candace. That's 3 characters, so I might not have anyone for it. Cause I want to show you something. Cause I thought someone was going to use let's see. Yeah, I thought one more person was going to use the Rift Hound. There was not another person to use the Rift Hound. Rip all of that resin. All of it. Like, most of this, I have some characters who might still use some. I do say most, because I don't think that's going to get any more use. But everything else, pretty much everything else, except this, but that's even a maybe. But this, there's been no one else to use this. Alright, so let's figure this out, actually. So, need 114 gold books
All the world holds dear.
of Praxis. And I have 63. Need 114. Clear. So I need to make 51. But this will make 57. Maxed. And yeah, I have the perfect amount there. Well, pretty much it's 1 over, but that doesn't matter. Let's see if I can't get something lucky here. Get some more praxis. Holy shit. There's alleged leaks for another leeway character, so it's safe to hope there might be more characters use those drops eventually. Well, even then, here's the thing. It doesn't matter where they're from anymore. And I have a prime example. Yeah. Yaya's from Leeway, but she uses the new Dendro Cube. And you could say, oh, maybe that's because she's newly added and it's one of the Dendro bosses. Which, reasonably, you could think that. But, Wanderer is also technically from Inazuma. He uses that Robo Bird. So bets might be off the table if I'll ever be able to use those things. Granted, I could like fucking transmute them if I felt really dumb, maybe. If you can transmute boss drops. That would be a horrible waste, though.
Relax.
Know what I wish we could do? I wish we could convert boss drops. That would be awesome. Because there will be a lot of times where you finish every character for a boss drop, you'll have like 2 left over. If I need... Need 51 more, right? Yeah. If I make 57... If I make 51... 7 times 3 is 21. So I'll only have 21 towards what I need, being 63. So I think I'm going to save the books I have for now. I could chance the 10%, but I don't want to chance the 10%. Plus, I'll need more books of practice later. We're going to keep grinding books of practice over some time. Hopefully, we'll be ready to Triple Crown Dia by the time she comes out. That will be phenomenal if I can do that. I'll be so fucking pumped if I can do that. I do have 3 Sage Crowns, right? I should have like a few. Yeah, I got 8. So I better hang on to my books as they are now. Sorry about that. Bitch! Do not push aside the Shogun! The disrespect, I swear. This guy has so much fucking disrespect. That's not the first time he's pushed me aside as the Shogun. Motherfucker. Let's check on our Primogen thing. And now, what's our fates at? We're at 176. And just one normal one. But we're at 176. Oh, that's so good. Just seeing that number slowly tick up over time has been so satisfying. We're almost there. We're almost at 180. Because I'm pretty sure I haven't pulled, yeah, since getting Wanderer. And this was just the rest of that Wanderer pull. I haven't pulled since getting Wanderer. He drained me. It was awful. And depending on how this works, I'm pretty sure I'm already at 8 pity because of the way that math goes. So technically, I'm pretty sure I have guaranteed Dia with everything here. And plus, you know, extra pulls from cons and whatnot, and the Stardust and Star Glitter or whatever it is that we use in these shops. This one, the extra ones all give me these things. Got 3 there. But yeah, we're so close. We're so close. We're so Can you feel it? Can you feel the excitement I have? I know the leaks say she's horrible, but I don't care. I mean, I've been
The
playing
world
Candace. I
remains
clearly have no
constant over the
standards.
centuries.
Alright, back to the chat screen. Yeah. Let me go ahead and exit this out. Oh, right, I haven't really made sure I have enough of the Scaramouche boss drop. But I can just convert a lot of the stuff I have. Let me shimmy back into focus here. Hello there. You know what? You know what we should do? Let's see if we can find just to read, like, see what kind of things are in our options. Public domain books. Ah, here's this. That's good, that's good. Shame it has a white background. You still alive on me, Morgan? Oh my. Ooh. Ooh, that's nice. That is nice. I'm here dying over these R&R quests though. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry. Looked weird when going like that. Anyways, so there's something called Project Gutenberg. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost, with no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away, reuse it under the terms of Project Gutenberg's license included with the ebook or online at gutenberg.org. If you're not located in the U.S. state, you have to check the laws of the country where you're located before using this ebook. Yeah, so There's like a lot of public domain books I could potentially read and just online. No yawn animation. Lame. I already look like I'm trying to stuff a hot dog in my mouth when I open it really, really wide. I look kind of baked. That's the goal. I always think I look a bit weird when I open it that wide. Sorry. Anyways, let's check out this site right quick. So this would be just if I don't fucking go to the library to pick something up here. I could potentially read some fucking books here. No registration, no fee, no special apps needed. 50 years of ebooks from 1971 to 2001. Damn. Yeah, and I found Dracula. Tongue out animation now. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I didn't think of that though. I should have. I didn't know how playful I'd be. Then again, I thought, oh, maybe I could be classy looking, but no, no, I am not classy. I am not suave. I can attempt to be with my voice, but I cannot be suave. It is suave, right? That's how you pronounce it. Anyways, I better change this to just chatting for now. Dun, 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 dun. Just shooting the breeze. Why is there shit in my breeze? Is that what I titled it? No, just shooting the breeze. Okay. It's shooting the shit or shooting the breeze. There should be no shit in your breeze. Anyways, I'm actually very glad these free book things exist. It's a shame it's all in light mode though. I get that's how a page looks, but online pages are lame. I have everything else of mine in dark mode. It's like, guys, he's looking at the page now. He's squinting. He's going blind. Help! Yeah, where's my dark mode books, guys? Huh? Actually, I think you can do that with certain apps. They change like the page background black and then the words are white. I think I've seen that. Yeah, I think it's an accessibility option on certain apps. I didn't even know it was about accessibility. I just thought it was easy. It sounded easier on the eyes. Because let's be honest, it is. And if you mean things like Discord and Twitch, then yes, I definitely knew that one. I believe I could be wrong. It helps people with dyslexia. I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't have dyslexia. But hey, if that's a bonus effect of an easier to see kind of thing, I am here for it. Like, yeah, you go. It's like, what, you have dyslexia? Nope, I'm just enjoying the easier on the eyesness. uh, glad it's helping you. I wonder what type of books I can find in here. Please, dear God. Wait, I'm probably not spelling that right. Sorry. Wait, is that its full title? What the fuck? So, when I looked up Frankenstein, because I've read Frankenstein before, I've finished it. I haven't finished Dracula. Part of the reason it's one of my suggestions. Uh, when I looked up Frankenstein, it was titled. I don't know why this isn't like referred to, but okay. It's titled Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus. That's just. Why is this not usually put on the title of things? Because I read a reprinting. Let me see if I can find that series of publishers. Huck Finn. Because I had a very particular set of publishers. I read a lot of these classics on. Okay, that's not gonna tell me who's the publishers on these. Hold on, maybe Frankenstein book. Da 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 dun dun da da dun da da da. Wow, there's so many publishings of this. Jesus Christ. Da 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 dun da 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 dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh, this might have been it. Open image, a new tab. Might have been the keyword. Let's go back to that Huck Finn one. No. It looks the same. That's not it. That's not well, it's not showing the publisher. Or well, the housing company that re-released this thing. I think the versions I read are called Great Illustrated Classics. They're basically redone on versions of the original work with extra illustrations. I read a lot of Edward Allan Poe's stuff like this too. The Telltale Heart book cover. Or oh wait, actually let's try poems by or stories by Egg Poe book cover. I think it was. Let's see if I can find the ones. Just some pictures I recognize. This is gonna bother the hell out of me, isn't it? Because there's so many re-releases of these things. I wish I had a solid thing to work with here. Dun, 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 dun. Great Illustrated Classics books. See if this is it. Da da da. Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Robin Hood, Call of the Wild. Yes, this was it. It was the Great Illustrated Classics releases of these that I read a bunch of. Treasure Island, Oliver Twist. Yeah, those covers look right. I read a lot of books like this. Tales of Mystery and Terror. That was it. That was the Edward Allan Poe version or collection I read. Well, I say collection. It had like 3 or 4 of his stories, and he's done a lot. So, there was a few. I don't think I read The Invisible Man. Yep, that's the right image for the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I didn't read this particular release of it, but I did have the Huck Finn release that I got. It actually wasn't the version of Dracula I read. Probably would have been more enthralled with illustrations back then if I had. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I found the thing. I no longer have to panic. Just getting a stretch in. Da, 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 da. What I need to make sure I do here is Doom and Noom, because I'm pretty sure my Twitch chat was being covered in the other variants. Doom. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. I think. Let's check. And Twitch chat's at the top here. Near the top here. The only thing above it is a koi for some reason, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so yeah, it does need to be at the top. Da 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 da. And yeah, okay. Okay, we're good. Sorry, just adjusting some things. I'm out of water now. If I start reading, I'm gonna need more water. How you doing over there, Morbid? Are you still suffering? I asked because you haven't said anything in a bit. You say my name while I'm pouring a mixed drink. Is a mixed drink really the best thing to hunt Aranaras at with? Or is that the only way you're getting through this is if you're drunk? Oh yes, of course. Also, yes, duh. Alright, I'm gonna refill my water. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Also, imagine doing an R&R quest sober. I mean, being sober might help you rage a bit less, but at the same time, maybe you'll rage less depending on what type of drunk you are. I wouldn't know. I don't drink. No rage, only cry. Hmm. Well, you know what I think I'm gonna do here? Gonna have me as background noise for whatever. I think I'm gonna read. So that's what we're doing now. Is there a separate category for like reading books? Twitch, do you have that? I'm very curious. The fuck is reading fun? Reading Raven. Reading Simulator? Oh, yes. Reading Simulator. My favorite way to read. I guess we're stuck with just chatting. Alright. Alright. Fuck, you know what would be good for this? A book PNG. I don't have any. Hold on. Let me see what already comes pre-installed on here. I want to see if I can't find me a book. Or maybe there's some free books. Book PNGs. Hands holding a book like when VTubers have controllers. See, the thing for that is I'm probably going to need custom ones of those because of the skin color being a midnight blue. But yes, that would be awesome. Man, they have Pepsi in here. Dr. Seven. Some of these goofy ass as legally distinct but also legally implying things are hilarious. I could put a blanket over myself. Ooh, cat ears. A couch. Egg. Eye patch. Gamer chair. Green boba. A hammer. Headband. Helmet. Microphone. Ooh, a moustache. And there's a lot of things that came pre-installed on here. Sunglasses, a table, wine. Wow, that is a lot of things. That is a lot of things. But none of them are a book. Well, damn. Let's see. Give me a sec. Where do I save these at for this? Dun 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 dun. I have abandoned the RNR request to try and play my EU account. Yeah, That checks out. Assets. Items? Yes, items. Okay, save. All right. Select item order. Just in front of me a little bit. All right. I don't need it to. God damn it. Stop that. Hold on. Not me. This. No. God damn it. Hold on. I'll get this right eventually. All right. I think I'm ready. All as ready as I'll ever be. Oh, let's actually keep it. Could I keep it static? No, it's just going to move like that? All right. Wait, hold on. I got to make these go away. All right. All right. I got a book. Behold, my book. It has no title. Hell yeah, a book. Yeah, hell yeah. A book. Let's go. One of the weirdest things to celebrate over. Yeah, some guy just made some random book assets. It's for free, so awesome, awesome, awesome. So, what should we start with? Excuse me. Currently, I have Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Raven all queued up, but we could potentially look for another classic or something if you have a preference. And just before It said, no, I'm not doing any release of Huck Finn or Tom Sawyer with the N-word. That is a hard no. If I ever read To Kill a Mockingbird, I'm passing over that word. I'm gonna chill with whatever you want to read. Let's see. I'm always indecisive, that's why I was asking. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can find here. You know what? Let's make it a bit easy. Let's start with the Raven. Hold on, let me put this in a way where I can see OBS and still see it. There we go. Think we're pretty good. All right. You know, this would be a great time to like break into Azaria's library. I just imagine just like, Zaria, we're breaking into your library to read a book. Can't you read a book in your own overlay? Hey, library! What the secret she's hidden in the library? Past lovers. The bodies of past lovers. That's her true villain arc. No one believed her. So they suffer the consequences. The skeletons of her enemies and a hidden trapdoor. Hell yeah! And now, let us begin. Pull up a chair, grab some hot chocolate, as the stormy night begins. The Raven by Edward Allan Poe. This is embarrassing, but here we go. Once upon a midnight Yuri, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, only this, and nothing more. As distinctly I remember it was in the bleak of December, and each separate dying ember was its ghost upon the floor. Eager I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books secrest of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maidens who the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, and uncertain rest. You know what? I should probably retitle the stream before I continue. I just remembered that. Let's find out how to spell literature. Nope, even spell check can't save me. Google can, though. Man, that is a long-ass word. Literature. Thank you. In the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain, thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor, entreating entrance of my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. 'Tis this, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," and or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. The fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dreamed before. But the silence was broken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and echo muttered back the word Lenore, merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, something louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my chamber latrice. But I don't know what that word is. Fuck. Whatever the hell this word is." Well, that's a way to trip me up. Man, this is going so well. I said, "Oh, it's a type of fence structure, usually on the side of a building. It can hold flowers or vegetables." Oh, a lattice. I expected it to rhyme, but okay. "Surely," said I, "surely that's something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what the threat is." Oh, that's your rhyme? Okay. "And this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flit and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Yes, it is. I decided to read. Welcome to the stream. It is a very recognizable poem. Once you've heard it once, you will always recognize it. Thank you. Oh, for the welcome. I was like, I got very confused there for a moment, then I forgot I welcomed you. It's like, wait, what? Sorry. Not the least fuck word. Not the least obstinance made. Aid he, not a minute stopped or stayed he. Really? That's the rhyme they got? Alright. But the mane of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the contents, or contents. Fuck these fucking words. Why did I think reading was a good idea? Fuck. Let's try that again. By the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, or through thy crest be shorn and shaven thou, I said, art sure no craven. Well, that's really weird. And ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me why thy lordly name is on the night a Plutorian shore, quoth the raven. Nevermore. Why are some of these words randomly capitalized? Why is nightly capitalized in that? Like nightly shore, but shore isn't capitalized, so it can't be a proper noun. Whatever, I don't care. No, I do care. It bothers me. Much as I marvel this ungrainly foul to hear the discourse so plainly. Or, oh, I think I was off beat. Much as I marvel this ungrainly foul to hear the discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little reverency bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But as the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word as its soul is that one word as if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a fetter there then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by the reply so uply spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock in store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dings of his hope and melancholy he burden and bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sink I betook myself into sinking. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy thinking what his ominous bird of yore, what this grim ungainly ghastly gaunt and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burdened into my bosom core. This and more I sat divining, with my hand at ease with my head at ease reclining. Words! Let me try that again. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamp like gloated o'er, and more whose velvet that violet lining with the lamp like gloating o'er. That's almost the same exact line. She shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by a septrum whose footfalls tinker on the tuffled floor. Wrench, I cry, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he has sent thee. Respire and fuck, I do not know that word. Nepathane? Nepane? Let's copy paste that bitch. Who knows this word? I'm sure Google does. Let's find out. Together. Give me a definition of that bitch. A drug described in Homer's Odyssey as banishing grief or trouble from a person's mind. Or a plant or genus that comprise of old world's pitcher plants. Potion used by the ancients to induce forgetfulness or pain of sorrow. Something capable of causing oblivion of grief or suffering. How curious. Well, let's proceed. Respite, and Nepathane, from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, quaff this kind of Nepathane, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven. Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still of if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunting, on this desert land and wow, that didn't flow well. Desolate yet all undaunted, on this I guess you just have to pronounce enchanted weirdly. Desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, and on this home by horrors haunted, tell me truly I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I. No, this is a different paragraph. Okay. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow, laden if within the distant Alden? Adon? The previous rhyme was adore, so it might be Adon. It's a name. It shall clap a sainted maiden, whom's the angels name Lenore. Claps a rare and radiant maiden, whom's the angels name Lenore. Why does he keep doing that? Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of thine soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, and quit the bust upon my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flittering, still it's sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all of seeing of a demon, and that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Well, that was difficult, but fun. How we doing? Morbid, you drunk yet? I wonder if I could do other poetry. I probably would suck ass at it, apparently. I don't know that many words. Chat with Virgo on Discord. Ah, okay. Well, that doesn't answer my question. Are you drunk yet? But also only slightly. Maybe a little. All right. What to do next? Um, hmm. Let me see. Hold on. All right, I gotta be back. I gotta feed the cats. So, Morbid, don't get too drunk while I'm gone. Also, yes, you are drunk. Okay. Well, too late. I still gotta feed the cats, though. Okay, BRB. All right, I'm back. All right, let's see. Well, let's bookmark this thing. That was nice. That was really nice. All right, you're still. Oh, wait, no. You sent that a bit ago. Anyways, so now, which one? Which one? It occurs to me that my fast reading skill isn't going to work as well when I'm actually reading it out loud because I can't just process it all in my head. These books are going to take me longer to read. Oh no. Let's shrink this down. Da, da, da. Come on. Smaller. Smaller. There, it's now in the way. Let's more this way. We can like okay. Alrighty. Alright, I can still be heard, right? No, my media source isn't popping off. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Oh, I know that media source is like my other things. Mic aux. Okay, yeah, that's going. That's going. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, a lot more things got put in my audio mixer that because they were loaded as media things, but they don't make sound like the cranes and the lantern and whatnot. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I think I'll just leave the title as that. And what shall we read next? I really should make like a list, but this was like really spur of the moment. I just had this inspiration today to do this. Because someone mentioned something, but I can't remember what it was. Anyways. We're going to attempt to read Dracula. I say attempt, because I've tried reading this before when I was younger. I don't know if we're going to get all of it in, but... Well, who am I kidding? Of course we're not going to get all of it in. I've seen like a video that someone did where they read Dracula for charity, and it's several hours long. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be finishing this in one stream. All right, let's get started. Dracula by Bram Stoker. Chapter 1. Jonathan Hawker's Journal, kept in shorthand. The 3rd of May. But, okay, I'm going to need this to be like bigger text here. Hold on. I'm like, this is already becoming a problem. Maybe just zoom in a bit. No. Oh, yeah, that'll work. 3rd of May, Brisbane. Left Munchia at 8:35 p.m. on the 1st May, arriving at Vienna early next morning. Should have arrived at 6:46, but the train was an hour late. Budapest has seemed a wonderful place. From the glimpse which I got. Man, this guy's grammar is awful. I know it's his journal, but come on. Seems a wonderful place. From the glimpse which I got of it, from the train and the little I could walk through the streets, I feared to go very far from the station, as we had arrived late and would start near the correct time. As possible. As near the correct time as possible. The impression I had was that we were leaving in the west and entering the east. The most western... God, the grammar! The most western of splendid bridges over the... God damn it. Over the Dun... Danube. It's a proper noun, apparently. I'm going to guess it's the name of a bridge or a river. Dunbuy. I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to move on. Which is here, the noble width and depth that took us among the traditions of Turkish rule. Oh, this is going to be hard. God damn it. What was I thinking? We left in pretty good time and came after nightfall to Klangsberg. Here I stopped for the night at Hotel Royal. I had for dinner, or rather supper, a chicken done up some way with red pepper, which was very good but thirsty. Get recipe from Mina, or Memo. Get recipe from Mina. I asked the waiter, and he said it was called paprika Hendel, and that as it was a national dish, I should be able to get it anywhere along on the Capriantas. I found my smatterings of German very useful here. Indeed, I don't know how I should be able to get on without it. Having had some time at my disposal when in London, I visited the British Museum and made search among the books and maps in the library. Regarding Transylvania, it had struck me that some knowledge of the country would hardly fail to have some importance in dealing with noblemen of that country. I find the district he named in the extreme east of the country, just on the border of 3 states, Transylvania, Moldavia, and Bulgaria, in the midst of the Carpathian Mountains, one of the wildest and least known portions of Europe. I was not able to light on any map or work giving the exact locality of Castle Dracula, as there are no maps of this country as yet to compare with my own Ordnance Survey maps, but I found that Bitsbell, the post town named by Count Dracula, is a fairly well-known place. I shall enter here with some of my notes, as they may refresh my memory when I talk over my travels with Mina. In the population of Transylvania, there are 4 distinct nationalities. Saxons in the south. Mixed with them is the Welsh, who are the descendants of the Dysons. I am butchering the hell out of some of these names, aren't I? Magyars in the west, and there was a Z after that S, and I don't know how to say it. Fuck. If this is your nationality, I apologize. Oh, oh God. I might have given myself more of a difficult task than I could have ever imagined. That's not what the book says. That's what I'm saying. Sketskittle, I'll just go with that, in the east and north. I'm going on the latter. No, not the latter. Please, I can't say that one. Who claim to descend from the Attilias and the Huns. What? The Attila and the Huns. No, come again? Isn't Attila the Hun like one dude? That's weird. I mean, I know Huns is like ancient Mongol Russians, I think. Or well, they lived in in areas that are current day Russia. But if someone's descending from Attila and they're Huns, why would you separate it? I don't know. The grammar in this is wonky. And again, it's a journal, so fuck. This may be so. Oh, for when Magyars conquered the country in the 11th century, they found the Huns settled in it. I read that every known superstition in the world is gathered into the excuse me, is gathered into the horseshoe of the Carpathons, as if they were the center of some sort of imaginary. I'm running out of breath here. I'm trying to pronounce these fucking names and say these in complete sentences as if they weren't somebody's fucking journal entries that don't have a lot of proper punctuation or breathing points, as if they were the center of some sort of imaginative whirlpool. If so, my stay may be very interesting. Memo, I may ask the Count all about them. I did not sleep well, though my bed was comfortable enough, for I had all sort of queer dreams. Oh, right, they used that word a lot back then. There was it means something peculiar or strange in the sense that they're using it back then. There was a dog howling all night under my window, which may have had something to do with it, or it may have been the paprika, for I had to drink up all the water fuck. It's like a canteen, Karakef, and was still thirsty. Towards the morning I slept and was awakened by continuous knocking at my door, so I guess I must have been sleeping soundly then. I had for breakfast more paprika, a sort or a porridge of maize flour, which they called why all the words? Mama Alega. Mama Alega these nuts. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's find out what that is. La da 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 da. This book's about to become very educational. Magale is a porridge made out of yellow maize flour, traditionally in Romania, Moldova, and West Ukraine. Poles from Lviv areas are prepared this or Poles? It just says Poles, but I figure that's probably not how you pronounce it, because it sounds like the name of a group of people. Also prepare this traditional dish. It's a traditional dish in God damn it. Thessaly, Thessaly probably, and Phytosa, Greece, also common in Black Sea regions of Turkey. Okay. And an eggplant stuffed with force meat, a very excellent dish, what they called implatata. Memo, get recipe for this also. I had to hurry a breakfast, for the train started a little before 8, or rather it ought to have done so, for after rushing to the station at 7:30, I had to sit in the carriage for more than an hour before it began to move. It seems to me that the further east you go, the more unpunctual are the trains. What ought they be in China? Rude. Okay. All day long we seemed to dawdle through a country worth full of beasts. I thought that said beasties. Of beauty of every kind. Sometimes we saw little towns or castles on the top of steep hills, such as we see in old missals. Sometimes we ran by rivers and streams which seemed from the wide stony margins on each side to be subject to great floods. It takes a lot of water and running strong to sweep the outside edges of the river clear. At every station there were groups of people, sometimes crowds, in all sorts of attire. Some of them just looked like the peasants at home, or those I saw coming from France and Germany, with short jackets, round hats, and home-made trousers. But others were very prestigious, or picturesque, that's it. The women looking pretty, except when... Oh, that's awful! Give me heart. What the fuck? I know this is like written to supposed to be his journal, so it's not gonna have as many filters in it. What the fuck? I can't believe he published this. God damn. Okay, I'm gonna try to get through this. I've gotten through hard words. I can get through some fucking brutal burns. Burns for the fucking, what, 17th, 18th century, 16th century? I don't remember. When is Dracula placed? I can't remember. What year is the book Dracula set in? 1890s. So it was the 19th century. God fucking damn it. This guy's gonna kill me. Alright, let's try this again. Let's find where I was. The women looked pretty, except when you got near them. But they were very clumsy about the waist. They had all full white sleeves of some kind or other, and most of them had big belts with lots of strips of something fluttering from them, like the dresses in a ballet. But of course, there were petticoats underneath them. The strangest figures we saw were the Skalvits, who were more barbarian than the rest, with their big cowboy hats, great baggy dirty white trousers, white linen shirts, enormous heavy leather belts nearly a foot wide, all studded over with brass nails. What the fuck? They wore high boots with their trousers tucked into them, had large black hair and heavy black mustaches. What's a Skalvit? Okay. Because this just sounds like a really, really, really goofily Western cowboy. What's a Skalvit? Are a West Slavic ethnic group and nation native to Skalvania who share a common ancestry, culture, and history and speak Skalvic. In Skalvania, 4.4 million are ethnic Skalvics of 5.4 million total population. Okay, so it's an ethnic group, and you're describing them like fucking cartoon villain cowboys. Okay. They're very picturesque. Are they? With that description? You made them sound like they're about to say, this town ain't big enough for the two of us. Dude. I mean, I'm gonna guess there's some exaggeration because, it's his point of view, but goddamn, dude. They are very picturesque, but do not look pre-proposing. On the stage, prepossessing? Yeah, prepossessing. I don't know what that means. Let's Google another word. I wonder how many words we're gonna Google by the end of this book. Attractive or appealing? What an asshole! Prepossessing means to be attractive or appealing in appearance, and he said they do not look prepossessing. What a dick! You're the one who described them like some goofy cartoon cowboy villain. What are you wearing? Huh? Man, I am not liking our current narrator. He's an asshole. On the stage, they would be set down at once as some old Oriental band of brigade or it's not bigots. That's the wrong spelling. Brigands, brigands. I'm gonna guess brigands. Band of brigands or brig. It has to be like brigans or something like that. All right. God damn it! I didn't think I'd have to Google another word so soon. A member of a gang that ambushes and robs people in Fort. A bandit. It's just another word for a bandit. What a dick! I said it before, but what a dick! They are, however, I am told, very harmless and rather wanting a natural self-assertion. Maybe don't be a judgmental dick in the... I can't with this guy. I'm not even through the first chap or the first journal entry and I'm done with him. I hope Dracula kills his fucking ass. Well, I mean, I think I heard he dies. Spoiler for an over 100-year-old book. But I'm pretty sure the first narrator dies. You know what? Good riddance. Jesus, what an asshole. Anyways, it was on the dark side of twilight when we got to Brisbane, which is a very interesting old place, being particularly on the frontier, for the Borgus Pass leads from it into Bulgavania, as it has a very stormy existence, and has certainly shown marks of it. 50 years ago, a series of great fires took place, which made terrible havoc on 5 separate occasions. At the very beginning of the 17th century, it underwent a siege of 3 weeks and lost 13,000 people. Well, the casualties of war proper being assisted by famine and disease. Count Dracula has directed me to go to Golden Krone Hotel, which I found, to my great delight, to be thoroughly old-fashioned, for, of course, I wanted to see all I could of the ways of the country. I had evidently expected, for when I got near the door, I faced a cheery-looking elderly woman in the usual peasant dress, white undergarment with long double apron, front and back of the colored stuff, fitting almost too tight for modesty. Dick? Sorry, I'm just going to keep telling this every time he judges someone like that. Gonna be the first thing that pops in my fucking mind. Jesus Christ. When I come close, she bowed and said, "And yeah, gentlemen." Yes, I said. Enter. I know this is journal, but whatever. Yes, I said. Jonathan Harker. She smiled and gave some message to an elderly man in white shirt sleeves, who followed her to the door. He went, but immediately returned with a letter. My friend, welcome to the Carapins. I am anxiously expecting you. Sleep well tonight, and at 3 tomorrow the diligence will start for Rogvenia. A place on it is kept for you. At the Baragor Pass, my carriage will await you, and will bring you to me. I trust that your journey from London has been a happy one, and that you will enjoy your stay in my beautiful land. Your friend, Dracula. Alright, we're finally to the next day. This guy's an asshole. Man, this thing's kicking my ass. 4th of May. I found that my landlord? Dude, you were there for a night. Chill. I found that... I mean, I don't know. Host, maybe. I found that my landlord had got a letter from the count directing me to secure the best place on the coach for me, but on making inquiries as to details, he seemed somewhat resented, and pretend that he could not understand my German. This could not be true, because up to then he had understood it perfectly. At least he answered my questions exactly as if he did it. He and his wife, the old lady who had received me, looked at each other in a frightened sort of way. He mumbled out that the money had been sent in a letter, and that was all he knew. When I asked him if he knew Count Dracula, he could tell me anything of his castle. Both he and his wife crossed themselves, saying that they knew nothing at all, simply refused to speak further. It was so near the time of starting that I had no time to ask anyone else, for it was all very mysterious and not by any means comforting. Just before I was leaving, the old lady came up to my room and said in a very hysterical way, "Must you go? Oh, young Herb, must you go?" She was in such an excited state that she seemed to have lost her grip on what German she knew, mixed it all up with some other language which I did not know at all. I was just able to follow her by asking many questions. When I told her I must go at once, that I engaged on important business, she asked again, "Do you know what day it is?" I answered that it was the 4th of May. She shook her head and said again, "Oh yes, I know that, but do you know what day it is?" On my saying that I did not understand, she went on, "It's the eve of St. George's Day. Do you not know that tonight, when the clock strikes midnight, all the evil things in the world will have full sway? Do you know where you are going, and what you are going to?" She was in such an evident distress that I tried to comfort her, but without effect. Finally, she went down on her knees and implored me not to go, at least wait a day or two before starting. It's all very ridiculous, but I did not feel comfortable. Well, however, there was business to be done, and I could allow nothing to interfere with it. I therefore tried to raise her up, said as gravely as I could, and that I thanked her, but my duty was imperative, that I must go. She then rose and dried her eyes, taking a crucifix from her neck, offered it to me. I did not know what to do, for as an English churchman, I had been taught to regard such things in some measure of idolatrous or idolatrosum. Idol. I'm having words with that suffix there. Altruis, idol, altruis, and yet seemed so ungracious to refuse an old lady meaning so well, in such a state of mind. She saw, I suppose, the doubt in my face, for she put the rosary around my neck, said, "For your mother's sake," and went out of the room when I was writing up this part of the diary, whilst I waited for the coach, which is, of course, late, and the crucifix still around my neck. Whether it is the old lady's fear, or the many ghostly traditions of this place, or the crucifix itself, I do not know. But I am not feeling nearly as easy in my mind as usual. If this book should ever reach Mina before I do, let it bring my goodbye. Here comes the coach. Ugh. Does this thing have normal chapters, or is it just like entries? I'm okay either way. I just want to know. Maybe that's why I had a weird ass table of contents at the front. Ugh. Man, I've been going for 3 hours. Jesus. Well, I can keep going. The 5th of May, the castle. The grey of the morning has passed, and the sun is high over the distant horizon, which seems jagged. Whether with trees or hills I know not, for it is so far off that big things and little are mixed. I am not sleepy, and as I am not to be called till I awake, naturally I write till sleep comes. There are many odd things to put down, and lest who reads them may fancy that I dined too well before I left Brisbane. Let me put down my dinner exactly. I dined on what they called robber steak, bits of bacon, onion, and beef, seasoned with red pepper, and strung on sticks, roasted over the fire. A shish kebab. It is a shish kebab. As a simple style of the London. What? In the simple style of the London's cat's meat? Oh my god. What the fuck? No, I gotta look that up. Okay, it refers to the meat meant for cats, not them. Thank God. Oh, okay. The wine was golden and metallish, which produces a queer sting on the tongue, which is, however, not disagreeable. I had only a couple of glasses of this and nothing else. When I got on the coach, the driver had not taken his seat, and I saw him talking with the landlady. They were evidently talking of me, for every now and then they looked over at me. The people who were sitting on the bench outside the door, which they called by name meaning word bearer, came and listened, and looked at me, most of them pityingly. I could hear a lot of words, often repeated, queer words, for there were many nationalities in the crowd. So I quietly got my polyglotist dictionary from my bag and looked them out. I must say they were not cheering to me, but amongst them were Orlog, Satan, Pocavoro, Hell, Stergontia, Witch, Volak, and Voslak most mean the same thing, one being Slavic and the other Servian, for something that is either werewolf or vampire. Memo, I must ask the Count about these superstitions. Whew, I need some water. When we started, the crowd rounded the inn door, which had by this time swelled to a considerable size. All made the sign of the cross and pointed two fingers towards me, which, some differently, I got a fellow passenger to tell me what they meant. With some difficulty, I got a fellow passenger to tell me what they meant. He would not answer at first, but on learning that I was English, he explained it with a charm or more guard against the evil eye. This was not very pleasant for me, just starting for an unknown place to meet an unknown man, but every one seemed so kind-hearted and so sorrowful and so sympathetic that I could not but be touched. I shall never forget the last glimpse which I had of the inn yard, and its crowd of picturesque figures, all crossing themselves as they stood round the wide archway, with its backyard of rich foliage, of alder and orange trees and green tubs clustered in the centre of the yard. Then our driver, whose wide linen drawers covered the whole front of the box Ikatsa, they called them, cracked his big whip over his 4 small horses, which ran abreast, and we set off on our journey. Heading out for the night. Good night. All right. Good night, Morbid. I hope you sleep well. I'm going to keep going. I don't know why, but I'm going to keep going. This book is hard. It's like really, really hard. I can't pronounce it's a lot of these words. Maybe I would if I was German. Or Russian. No, probably German, since they said they're speaking German a lot. I soon lost sight and recollection of ghostly fears and the beauty. I soon lost sight and recollection of ghostly fears and the beauty of the scenes that we drove along, although I had known the language or other languages which my fellow passengers were speaking. I might not have been able to throw them off so easily. Before us lay a green sloping land full of forest and woods, which here and there had steep hills crowned with clumps of trees, or with farmhouses, the blank and gable into the road. There was everywhere a bewildering mass of fruit, with blossom, apples, plums, pear, and cherry. As we drove by, I could see the green grass under the trees, spangled with fallen petals. In and out amongst the green hills of what they call here the Mittel land, ran the road, losing itself as it swept around the grassy curve, or was shut out by the struggling ends of the pine woods, which here and there ran down the hillside like tongues of flame. The road was rugged, but still we seemed to fly over it with a feverish haste. I could not understand and then what the haste meant, but the driver was evidently bent on losing no time in having researching Borgo Prund. I was told that this road is in the summertime excellent, but that it had not yet been put in order after the winter snows. In this respect it is different from the general run of the roads in Capuchin, for it is an old tradition that they are not to be kept in good order. Of old, the Hospadars would not repair them, lest the Turks would think that they were preparing to bring in foreign troops, so hasten the war which was already really at loading point. Below the green swelling hills of the Mitchell land rose mighty slopes of forest up the lofty steps of Capitan themselves. Right and left of us they towered, with the afternoon sun falling full upon them, bringing out all the glorious colors of this beautiful range, deep blue and purple in the shadows of the peaks, green and brown with grass and rocks mingled, and an endless perception of jagged rock or perspective of jagged rocks and pointed crags, till there were themselves lost in the distance, where the snowy peaks rose gradually. Here and there seemed mighty rifts in the mountains, though which as the sun began to sink we saw now and again the white gleam of falling water. One of my companions touched my arm as we swept around the base of the hill, and opened up the lofty snow-covered peaks of a mountain, which seemed as we wound on our serpentine way to be right before us. "Look! Axix! God's seat!" And he crossed himself reverently. What the fuck? Or ist den Sieg? As we wound On our endless way, the sun sank lower and lower beyond us. The shadows of the evening began to creep around us. This was empathized by the fact that the snowy mountain top still held the sunset, seemed to glow out with a delicate cool pink. Here and there we passed Czechs and Socks and Slovaks, all in the picturesque attire, but I noticed that the grotesque or the grottoir was painfully prevalent. By the roadside were many crosses, and as we swept by, my companions all crossed themselves. Here and there was a peasant, man or woman, kneeling before a shrine, who did not turn around as we approached, but seemed in the self-surrender of devotion to have neither eye nor ears for the outer world. There were many things new to me, for instance, hayricks in towns, or hayricks in the trees, and here and there are very beautiful masses of weeping birch, their white stems shining like silver through the delicate greens of the leaves. Now and again we passed a lecture wagon, the ordinary peasant cart, with its long snake-like vertebrae, vertebrae, calculated to suit the inequalities of the road. On this were sure to be seated quite a group of home-coming peasants, the Czechs with their white and the Slovaks with their colored sheepskin, the latter carrying lance fashion, their long staffs with an axe at the end. As the evening fell, it began to get very cold, and the growing twilight seemed to merge to one dark mistiness. One dark mistiness. The gloom of the trees, oak, beech, and pine, and through in the valleys we ran deep between the spurs of the hills. As we ascended through the pass, the dark firs stood out here and there against the background of late lying snow. Sometimes, as the road was cut through the pine woods, it seemed the darkness, the closing down upon us, great masses of grayness, which here and there restrained the trees, produced a particularly weird and solemn effect, which carried on the thought and grim fancies engendered earlier in the evening, when the falling sunset threw into strange relief the ghost-like clouds which amongst the capuchons seemed to wind ceaselessly through the valleys. Sometimes the hills were so steep that, despite our driver's haste, the horses could only go slowly. I wished to get down and walk up them, as we do at home, but the driver could not hear of it. No, no, he said, you must not walk here. The dogs are too fierce. And he added, with what he evidently meant for grim pleasantries. He looked round to catch the approving smile of the rest, and you may have enough of such matters before you go to sleep. The only stop he would make was a moment's pause to light his lamps. When it grew dark, there seemed to be some excitement amongst the passengers. They kept speaking to him, one after the other, as though urging him further speed. He lashed the horses unmercilessly, with his long whip, and with wild cries of encouragement urged them on to further excursions. Then through the darkness I could see a sort of patch of grey light ahead of us. As though there were clefts in the hill, the excitement of the passengers grew greater. The crazy coach rocked on its great leather springs and swayed like a boat tossed on a stormy sea. I had to hold on. The road grew more level. We appeared to fly along. Then the mountains seemed to come near us on each side and to frown down upon us. We were entering the Borgo Pass. We're not even at the count yet. One by one, several of the passengers offered me gifts, which they pressed upon me with an earnestness which would take no denial. There were certainly of an odd and varied kind, but each was given a simple good faith, with kindly words and a blessing, that strange mixture of fear and meaning movements which I had seen outside the hotel of Blitzman, a Blitzman, a Bistian, Bistian. Ah, this word. The sign of the cross, a guard against the evil eye. Then, as we flew along, the driver leaned forward, and on each side the passengers craning over the edge of the coach peered eagerly into the darkness. It was evident that something very exciting was either happening or expected, but though I asked each passenger, no one would give me the slightest explanation. This state of excitement kept on for some little time, and at last we saw before us the pass opening out on the eastern side. There were dark rolling clouds overhead, and in the air the heavy, oppressive sense of thunder. It seemed as though the mountain range had separated two atmospheres, and that now we had gotten into the thunderous one. I was now myself looking out for the conveyance which was to take me to the Count. Each moment I expected to see the glare of lamps through the blackness, but all was dark. The only light was the flickering rays of our own lamps, in which the steam from our hard-driven horses rose in a white cloud. We could see now the sandy road lying white before us. There was on it no sign of a vehicle. The passengers drew back with a sigh of gladness which seemed to mock my own disappointment. I was already thinking that I knew what I had best do, when the driver, looking at his watch, said to the others something which I could hardly hear, was spoken so quietly in a low tone. I thought it was an hour less than the time. Then turning to me, he said, in German worse than my own, "There is no carriage here. The heir is not expected after all. We will not come. He will now come on to Bulgaria, and return tomorrow or the next day, perhaps the next day." While he was speaking, the horse began to neigh, snort, plunge wildly, so the driver had to hold them up. Then, amongst a chorus of screams from the peasants, a universal crossing of themselves, a calash with 4 horses drove up behind us, overtook us, and drew up beside the coach. I could see from the flash of our lanterns as the rays fell on them. The horses were coal black and splendid animals. They were driven by a tall man with a long brown beard and a great black hat, which seemed to hide his face from us. I could only see the gleam of a pair of very bright eyes, which seemed red in the lamplight. As he turned to us, he said to the driver, "You are late tonight, my friend." The man stammered, the man stammered in reply. The English air, was he? The English air was in a hurry. To which the stranger replied, "That is why I suppose you wish him to go on to Bulgaria. You cannot deceive me, my friend. I know too much, and my horses are swift." As he spoke, he smiled, and a lamplight fell on a hard-looking mouth, which, with very red lips, sharp-looking teeth, as white as ivory. One of my companions whispered to another a line from Berger's Lenore. "Dien dein Toten, returnen schnell, for the dead travel fast." The strange driver evidently heard the words, for looking up with a gleaming smile. The passenger turned his face away, at the time putting out his 2 fingers, crossing themselves. "Give me the heir's luggage." Wait, which driver said that? I gave them different voices! At least I tried to. And with exceedingly austerity, my bags were handed out and put into the calash. Then I descended from the side of the coach. As the calash was close along, the driver helped me with a hand which caught my arm in a grip of steel. His strength must have been prodigious. Without a word, he shook his reins. The horses turned, and we swept into the darkness of the pass. As I looked back, I saw the steam from the horses of the coach by the light of the lanterns projected against its figures and my late companions crossing themselves. The driver cracked his whip and called to his horses. Off they swept on their way to Volkvania. As I sank into the darkness, I felt a strange chill, a lonely feeling coming over me. But a cloak was thrown over my shoulders and a rug across my knees, and the driver said in excellent German, "The night is chill, mynheer, and my master, the Count, bade me to take all care of you. There was a flask of slip fuck word, the plum brandy of the country, underneath the seat if you should require it." I did not take any, but it was a comfort to know it was there all the same. I felt it a little strange, but not a little frightened. I think I had there been in any alternative, I could have taken it, instead of procrastinating that unknown night journey. The carriage went at a hard pace straight along. Then we made a complete turn and went along another straight road. It seemed to me we were simply going over and over the same ground again, so I took note of some salient points and found that this was so. I would have liked to have asked the driver what this all meant, but I really feared to do so, for I thought that placed as I was, any protest would have no effect. In this case there had been some intention to delay. By and by, however, as I was curious to know how much time was passing, I struck a match, and by flame looked at my watch. Within a few minutes of midnight. It gave me sort of a shock, for I suppose the general superstition about midnight was increased by my recent experiences. I waited with a sick feeling of suspense. Then a dog began to howl somewhere in the farmhouse far down the road, a long, agonized wailing, as if from fear. The sound was taken up by another dog, and another, till the bone, or until it bore the wind, which now softly through the pass, or sighed softly through the pass. A wild howling begun, which seemed to come from all over the country, as far as the imagination could grasp, through the gloom of the night. At the first howl, the horse began to strain and rear. The driver spoke to them soothingly. They quieted down. But the shiver and sweated as through the run away from the sudden fright. Then far off in the distance from the mountain, on each side of us began a louder, sharper howling, that of wolves, which affected both the horses and myself in the same way, for I was minded to jump from the calash and run, whilst they reared again and plunged madly, so that the driver had to use all of his great strength to keep them from bolting. In a few minutes, however, my own ears got accustomed to the sound. The horses so far became quiet that the driver was able to descend and to stand before them, as he petted and soothed them and whispered something in their ears, as I heard the horse tamers doing, with extraordinary effect, for under his caress they became quite manageable again, though they seemed trembled. The driver again took his seat, shaking his reins, started off at a great pace, this time going to the far side of the pass, suddenly turned down a narrow roadway which ran sharply to the right. Soon we were hemmed in with trees, which in place arched right over the roadway till we passed as through a tunnel, and again great frowning rocks guarded us boldly on either side. Though we were in shelter, we could not hear the rising wind, for it moaned and whistled through the rocks, and the branches. Or we could hear the rising wind, for it moaned and whistled through the rocks. Oh, Jesus. I don't know how often this kind of thing is done. I have no idea. The branches of the trees crashed together as we swept along. It grew colder, colder still, and fine. Powdery snow began to fall, so that soon we and all around us were covered with a white blanket. The keen wind still carried the howling of dogs, though this grew fainter as we went on our way. The baying of the wolves sounded nearer and nearer, as though they were closing round us, and on us from every side. I grew dreadfully afraid. The horses shared my fear. The driver, however, was not in the least bit disturbed. He kept turning his head left and right, but I could not see anything through the darkness. Suddenly, away on our left, I saw a faint, flickering blue flame. The driver saw it at the same moment. He at once checked the horses, and jumping to the ground, disappeared into the darkness. Did not know what to do. The less as the howling of the wolves grew closer. But while all I wondered, the driver suddenly appeared again. Without a word, took his seat, and resumed our journey. I think I must have fallen asleep, kept dreaming of the incident, for it seemed to repeat it endlessly, and now looking back, it is like a sort of awful nightmare. Once the flame appeared so near the road that even in the darkness around us I could watch the driver's motion. He went rapidly towards the blue flame arose. It must have been very faint, for it did not seem to illuminate the place around it at all, and gathered a few stones, forming into some device. Once there appeared a strange optical effect. When he stood between me and the flame, he did not obstruct it, for I could see its ghostly flicker all the same. It startled me, but as the effect was only momentarily, I took it that my eyes deceived me straight into the darkness. Then for a time there was no blue flame. We sped onward through the gloom, with the howling of the wolves around us, as though they were following in a moving circle. At last there came a time when the driver went further afield than he had yet gone, and during his absence the horses began to tremble worse than ever, to snort and scream with fright. I could not see any cause for it, for the howling of the wolves ceased altogether. But just then the moon, sailing through the black clouds, appeared behind the dragon chest, a beetling, pine-clad rock, and by its light I saw around us a ring of wolves' white teeth and lolling red tongues, long swivering limbs and shaggy hair. They were 100 times more terrifying in the grim silence which held them than even when they howled. For myself, I felt a sort of paralysis of fear. It is only when the man feels himself face to face with such horrors that he can understand their true import. All at once the wolves began to howl, as though the moonlight had some particular effect on them. The horses jumped around and reared, and looked helplessly around with the eyes that roll in a way painful to see. But the living ring of terror encompassed them on every side. They had the perforce to remain within. I called to the coachman to come, for it seemed to me that only our chance was to try and break through the ring to aid his approach. I shouted and beat the side of the calash, hoping that by the noise to scare the wolves from that side, so as to give him a chance of reaching the trap. How he came there, I know not, but I heard his voice raised in a tone of imperious command. Looking towards the sound, and saw him stand in the roadway as he swept his long arm, as though brushing aside some impalatable obstacle. The wolves fell back, and back further still. Just then a heavy cloud passed across the face of the moon, that we were again in darkness. When I could see again, the driver was climbing into the calash. The wolves had disappeared. This was all so strange and uncanny that a dreadful fear came upon me, that I was afraid to speak or move. The time seemed indeterminate as we swept on our way now in almost complete darkness, for the rolling clouds obscured the moon. We kept on ascending, an occasional period of quick descent, but in the main, always ascending. Suddenly I became conscious of the fact that the driver was in the act of pulling up the horses in the courtyard of a vast ruined castle, from whose tall black windows came no ray of light, and whose broken battlements showed a jagged line across the moonlit sky. Oh, goodness. Oh, it does have normal chapters. Ay. Ay. So, I think I'll finish with just the one chapter today. This is a long book, and a complicated book. And I already read The Raven, and I did Genshin, and I've been going for about 3.5 hours. Jesus, I need to chill. You know what? This is enjoyable. I wish I had a bit more active people here for it, but you know what? They can watch the VOD if they want to hear me fuck this book up. And you know what? I'm sure people show up at some random other time while I'm reading. Or maybe I should continue. I don't know. I probably shouldn't. Alright. Yeah, I think I'll end. So, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to wish you all a fond farewell and thank you for stopping by. If you like this, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. And until next time, fare thee well. I hope to continue this little story reading thing another time with y'all. This was pretty enjoyable, actually. I get to do a little voice acting stretching and read up on a classic I never got to finish. So, until next time, fare thee well. Bye bye.